Morning, everyone. Just wanted to give you kind of a quick lay of the land out here in Tennessee. This is our county road, 914, that we live on, and two-lane highway. Um, and then our neighbor Bill, great neighbor right up there, and he lives in that house up there. There's our barn, and then we're picturing to kind of build right up. It's a hill up here. It's a pretty good height, actually. It actually looks down on our neighbor's house, like way above that. It doesn't look like it, but it is. It's pretty high up there. So yesterday, Shannon and I began cutting our road because we have a road that you can't see it. It gets covered with grass pretty good here because we're only here once every year and a half or so. But as we start pulling in and out of it with the car, it wears it out pretty good, and there is gravel, so it's not like it's mushy grass or dirt. But our driveway goes up, curves up right in front of the barn. We got a big circular area where we can even turn the bus around, and like I said, we're waiting for a part on the bus so we can put our jacks down, and our bus isn't in its final spot. It actually lines up right with the front of the barn off to the side where it is now, but closer to the barn, and it gives us a nice little patio area right here before the woods. Just a nice little private area there where we grill and other things. So our road continues actually way down here, even back in between these trees here, and then at some point right in about that area, we make a left, and that's where we're cutting our road in. And we're going to go up kind of at an angle up here. It's winding a little, I'll give you that, as we cut it out a little bit more in the next coming days. So just wanted to show you that. And they can do about 40, 50 miles an hour on that road, believe it or not. So just, but it's not busy. I mean, it has its times in the early morning and rush hour at night, I guess you would call it. But, and that's our 10 acres. Like I said, it's probably 60-40. I would give it 60% is out here in the pasture from the road up to the woods, and then about 40% is same width, but up in the woods. Covers just not as deep. So right now I'm over clearly across on the other side of the property from the driveway where I just was. That's basically our property line with our neighbor Bill. We bought two 5-acre parcels. There's the bus and the barn over there. And there was never, this is all big hayfield, so there was never a fence here. I put that in the last time I was in. Basically runs about 600 feet from this pressure treated posts. I put that in with concrete in each of these holes. Then you run a smaller pressure treated board across here, post I should say, and then if you can see it, there's an angle of one coming down here, and I sunk that in concrete. And what that does is give you a lot of, like an anchor to pull this fence nice and tight. And Bill was kind enough to use his tractor to pull on it as I tied it. Got it sort of tied with wire fence T-post hangers, and got started, and then went along here and put them all in. So, and then there's a couple of other pressure treated posts along the way. I think I have two, and then one at the far end right here. Our road used to actually continue out and right up to this house, because this was all one property at one time. So I got that fence running across the road there, and that's where that road ends for us now. And I got another anchor point with pressure treated posts, heavy duty pressure treated posts up there. So got that going up there, and then we still have another 200 feet or so, maybe even more, to run up into those woods, but we just haven't gotten around to that part, and that'll be a little bit harder, just going around trees and cutting brush out of the way and things like that. So may get it done this year, but it's not pressing because these people ended up selling already and moving, and now somebody else has it as a rental property. And actually our neighbor Bill over here, his grandson is renting that now, so it seems to be a little bit more quieter of a neighbor too. So actually haven't even seen them around too much. Young working couple or something. So we'll go up here as we follow. There's another post that I used as an anchor point. Sunk that into concrete too. That's not going anywhere. The grass has grown up a little bit along here, but we actually have somebody taking our hay, cutting it. We just give it to them, but they keep the grass nice and cut. I think they got 3 cuts out of it this year of hay for their horses or cows or whatever they have. And so that's keeps our place kind of neat and trim, and we give it our hay to somebody that can use it. So it's a, I guess you'd call, win-win situation. I'm just going to go up here to the other end real quick, and then I'll start showing you this, where we cut this path through yesterday. Yesterday was our first foray up into the woods. Walked the property line, then got our equipment, a chainsaw, some other stuff, and started clearing. So as you can see, I'm coming up on that road, the other end of our driveway up here, and see another anchor, fence 2 posts, and anchored this all into concrete, and created another pulling point. So this fence is nice and tight. This is a couple years old now and still running nice and straight on our property line. And then, like I said, this road used to go through here. I actually got another anchor point right here, and then just kind of put this up. It's kind of flimsier, but we'll pull on it as we get this continue this fence up our property line up there. And so once again, our driveway is covered up, but it's actually a pretty good firm bed of gravel that I'm walking on right now. But when you don't use these, the grass just grows over it pretty quickly. And we'll get out a propane tank with a little burner, and you just go along this and burn this stuff right up. But so this is where we started cutting into the woods. So what we'll do is, you can barely see the barn down there. Let me see, right through there. So you'd eventually, if we get a house, or when we get a house built, we'll come in from where I was first started, up the driveway around here, make a quick left, we'll come up in here. By the way, one of the first things we got to do is, that's a drainage ditch right along here. It's pretty muddy and soft, so we're going to dig that out, shovel that out, and get one of those metal tubes that'll go under there. We'll fill it with, and that'll be the first thing that gets hit with gravel, so we can drive over that, and that way the water will, this will dry this mud out a little bit. But actually it's pretty, as soon as you start climbing up here, it's real, the ground is very dried out and stable. So Shannon, we're gonna rent a skid steer, and Shannon's gonna get to have fun in that skid steer again, and she'll take about 6 inches, maybe 4 to 6 inches of topsoil off of this, get it down to a little bit harder soil, and then we'll you can see we staked it. We started staking yesterday, just so we know where we're going as we cut trees and stuff down. So I'm just following this up. It's about 9:30 in the morning, by the way, so we're getting ready to come up here again today and do a little bit more clearing. We'll clear some of this brush out of here a little bit better. Yesterday we just kind of made our headway how we wanted this thing to go, so today we'll do a little bit more fine tuning and get ready so the skid steer can come up here. And we're hoping to pull some of these trunks out of cedar trunks that we had to cut down, just like this one right here. But as you can see, there's another stake. So I just made a right turn, kind of a curve more than anything. We don't want turns, but just have it a winding driveway up here. So eventually the trees block people's view from the road, so they don't see how far that driveway is and how far our road goes up here. If it sounds like I'm out of breath, it's because I am climbing the hill a little. So another stake. Lots of oak, ash trees. Same as in the Northeast, the ash trees are all dead, unfortunately, because the emerald beetle has gotten them. So those will come down. Not sure what this tree is right here, but it's dead. Probably have that come down. There's another one right here, a little one, but they're not in the way of the driveway right now. So, but eventually we'll get those down too. So we'll come up this way, just past another stake. And by the way, this is going to be about 400 feet up to where we think we'll park the car, or the cars, have a little pad, and then have maybe 100-foot walk to the house, at least to start. We're thinking, so we're not spending all kinds of money on the road first. But we actually got quoted a better price than we thought on the gravel that it would take to get up here, so we may go all the way to the house site. But as you can see, there's a pink ribbon I tied to a couple of trees right there, and that's where we think it'll initially end, but the home site will go off to the left a little and up in there. And we did do a little bit of a climb. I don't know if the camera can show it. Not really, but our neighbor's house is through these trees right here. I can see it down there. It's starting to focus on it right through the trees there. You can see the corner of his house. But we'll even go a little bit higher. And like I said, once you're up at the home site, it actually looks down on his house at a pretty good height. So we like the look. It's far away from the road. Trees make it even quieter back here from the road noise. And so we got a lot of oak trees, some fir trees, and see if I can find any cedar. I had to cut a couple down, but there's a lot of cedar in here too, and beech trees. So that's mainly what the woods. Like I said, the ash are pretty dead in here. I don't see any willows. Beech, oak, some pine, and cedar. So that's what these woods are made of. And we missed the tree. The leaves have pretty much all gone off the trees now. So it's November 2nd, so missed it by maybe a couple weeks. I bet you it was at its height a couple weeks ago. But as you're traveling along the road in town and stuff, you can still see some colors.